After the principle of sincerity, the man, the book, now we are going to move forward to the study of an author, reading and study. So, the study of an author, according to Huston, taking this in as our point of departure, we must stay next step between make our reading at once broader and more systematical between the mere reader of books and the student of literature. The essential difference is not to be sought, as I'm afraid it is very often sought in this post fact that one enjoys his reading and the other does not. So the true difference is that the one reader is a haphazard and desultory way, while the other reader is organized according to some regular order or plan. So long as we simple take a book here and a book there, a chance or to whim of the hour may detect we are merely reader is on the when we introduce method into our reading that we become student. So there is a difference between the student of literature and merely the reader of a book. So because the student of literature bring out some sort of systematical method that Hutton introduced in his writing, and then they start reading. Otherwise, the merely reader of the literature, they do not go through the systematic process. They directly go they just they just read the book of literature as one enjoys reading and others does not. So obviously our most natural course is to pass directly from the reading of a book is to study to of author. Our first aim being, as we have said, to establish personal relation with man in his work. So what happened that the student of literature, what they do, they have to establish, they have to form a personal relationship with the man in his book, means with the author. We begin by devoting ourselves to someone or other of his writing which may have a special kind of interest for us, but as a student we cannot rest here. We want to realize the man's genius so far as this is possible in its wholeness and variety. In this end we have to consider his work not separately but in these relation with one another, and thus with the man himself, the growth of his mind, the change of his temper and thought, the influence upon him of his experience in the world. So being a student, it is it becomes we become highly responsible because we have to study the wholeness and variety, the whole the whole process of his writing, and about his relationship with one another, the man himself, his growth of mind and his change in his temperament and thought, and the influence upon him of his experience in the world, that how his mind changed according to the world outside of the world outside, and according to his surroundings. So those records of himself which he has left us in his book and now are no longer to be regarded as detached and independent expression of his personality, isolated productions forming as mere miscellaneous aggregate of unconnected units to be read without any sense of their affiliation one with another. So there must be some coherence between the ideas and expression, because there is no longer regarded an independent expression of his personality. It becomes now mingle with the subject of the book, so it becomes a unit, and it should be a connected unit, not as an unconnected unit to be read without any sense of their affiliation. So some sort of affiliation must be there. They are rather to be taken as a corpse or organic whole, not simply as his work but as his works. So a telling illustration lies ready to hand, and in the case of Shakespeare, we all know about Shakespeare. We may read and we often do read Shakespeare plays without the slightest idea of sequence or method, jumping, let us say, from the Comedy of Errors to King Lear, and from the Tempest back to a Midsummer Night's Dream. and on these all are the works of Shakespeare, great works of Shakespeare. Some are the comedies, some are the all are the comedies, and King Lear is a tragedy, I think. And one will deny that the keenest delight and a great deal of profit may be found in such random reading of them. But though in this way we may get to know much of Shakespeare, there is much that we cannot get to know. We have still to study these plays together as deliver expression of one and the same genius, to compare and contrast them in matter and spirit, in method and style, to conceive them alike in their similarities and in differences as product of a single individual power revealing itself in different periods and in curiously varying artistic mood, now in one and now in another of them, hence manifestly the need of systematizing our reading. So reading this paragraph means that that we need to understand writer with the work that is present in our hand. We should not we need not to read the writer according to in the chronologically order, or chronically in certain order, or in certain way. We should read writer according to what we have in our hand. We should judge writer with a single piece of art or single piece of literature. We should not read writer according to according to his works, but his single work. So if recognizing this need, we raise the question, the course to be pursued, the answer is not to seek. Clearly, the most natural and the most profitable of all plans of study that might be suggested in the chronological, the study of a writer's work in order of their productions. So, when we understand writer according to the number of in the numerically order, that first Shakespeare has written the Comedy of Error, then King Lear, then Tempest, I'm just supposing as Midsummer's Night Dream, then it will deny that the keenest delight and a great deal of profit may be found in such random. We should randomly select the work of art and need to study according to the demand of the book. We should understand writer in the circumstances, or in the conditions, or in the action that is arising from the book. We should understand the background, the time, and the limitation of the work, and then we should understand the circumstances that writer has gone through at the certain period of time. We should not understand writer according to the different according to the different reading process. If recognizing this need, we raise the question of the course to be pursued, the answer is not for C. Clearly, the most natural and the most profitable of all plans of study that might be. Now they are telling us that how to study an author. So the study of a writer works in order to their production. Taken in this way, we such works become for us the luminous record of his inner life and of his craftsman, and we thus follow in them the various phases of his experience, the stages of his mental and moral growth, the changes undergone by his art. So slowly and gradually, what happens, the writer moves from one book to another book. His mind, his mental state, and his temperament and his thought becomes more influenced by the society, and more influenced by the experience that he has in the world. So we should understand first that the writer, we should need to understand writer at the certain point of time in which he has produced the work of art. So we must understand writer according to his current circumstances in which he has written the piece of work. In order to know Balzac and to judge him, writes a French critic of that novelist, we must arrange his work in order in which they were produced. So the chronological order is must to understand the reader the study of reader. In the study of reader, what is important? Chronological order. It is now almost universally recognized that the true, in fact, the way in which to study Shakespeare, if we would properly know and judge him, it's simpler to arrange the works so far we can do so in order in which they were produced, since this way we can obtain by no other method a sustained sense of those works as a progressive revelation of genius and power. So by through this understanding, through the chronological understanding, we will get the idea of writer's production, and we get the idea of writer's genius and power, that how his power and his mind and his thoughts and his temperament influenced with the passage of time, and how the society changed, and how the circumstances and society has made influence upon the writer. So this is the way to study an author. We will come up with the next topic. Till then, take care.